Alright guys, today I'm going to show you how exactly I use AI in my workflow. We're going to go from prompting all the way to image generation, turning those images into videos, clean versus dirty prompting, as well as how to navigate negative prompts and help save some of your generations. To get started, we're going to be using Midjourney. I definitely enjoy using a few different image generation tools, but Midjourney is my favorite. Midjourney lets you pretty much describe anything that you can imagine directly into the taskbar, and it'll generate from that. But where Midjourney really shines is image control. We're going to start with uploading some image reference. So let's take a look around Midjourney. If you click the little plus icon in the top left, this is where you can upload reference images. You can upload any image that you would like here. Next to the upload icon, there are 4 different section boxes to upload things to. You can have starting frame, which is for video generations, image prompts, which is, think about this as the framing of the image, style references, which essentially think about style references that this controls the look, color grading, lighting style, illustration versus realism, think aesthetic. And then omnipresence, which essentially, this is for likeness, faces, characters, mascots, helps you keep characters' identity right here. So the more references you add, the more you're going to be constraining the model. This can be good, or it can kill creativity, just depending on what you're trying to go for. Balance matters. Over here on the right side, we have our preferences panel. In image size, you can change the aspect ratio to pretty much anything that we'd be using it for. Down here, your model, you can always just keep it on standard. Don't need to go too crazy. That's where you can change the version down here as well. Now, up here for aesthetics, this is where it gets fun. For stylization, here, Midjourney can take more creative liberty. That's what you can adjust this bar depending on how much stylization you'd like. And if you like Midjourney, to kind of add its own personal touches in there. Weirdness, this slider controls unexpected outcomes and realities. So if you're trying to make something pretty artistic and kind of crazy and out there, this slider's great. Adjust it how you want, but it does kill realism, I will say. Now, variety, this slider bar controls how different each generation is from the others. So I normally like to keep it around 25, get some changes, but keep some similarities in there. Adjust it at your own discretion. Now, let's hop over to Nano Banana, and I'll show you how that one works as well. First, type in Nano Banana into the Google search bar. It's going to pop up with Google Gemini. Just go ahead and click on Google Gemini. Go down here to create image. Now you're using Nano Banana. Nano Banana is a little simpler, but it is great at making lifelike images, and it is trained on all of Google's image data, which is nice. So it's really good at making people come to life and look real and not fake in AI. So for this demo, I'm going to be generating our mascot clip. Let's start with making clip. I like to use ChatGPT to help me prompt. Cool. Using ChatGPT kind of helps break it down from your simple language in your head to something that's a little bit formatted better for these language models to consume and understand. Let's plug this in and see what it gives us. If we want to, we can make him any style. So today, let's go for like a 3D Pixar style. So once this Midjourney prompt is done finishing from ChatGPT, we can go ahead, copy, and we can go to create over here in Midjourney, type this in, and that's what, since we don't have any reference images because we're creating this from scratch, we don't need to upload anything here, and we can go ahead and send it. So now we just wait and see what Midjourney is going to offer us. It's pretty fast, just depending on your Wi-Fi speed as well. So sometimes it takes a little bit, sometimes it's super fast. So here you can see it kind of looks like a stuffed animal. So let's take this prompt and reread it and try again. I think what was throwing it off was mascot. So let's take out the words mascot. Now that we took out the words mascot, let's go ahead and try again. Still giving us that like stuffed animal look. All right, so since this isn't giving us the result that I'm expecting, let's go back into the prompt and change a few of these things up. Sometimes with these things, with the LLMs, it can be a little bit of a hit or miss. You gotta kind of go back in and rework it, just depending. Sometimes it's very literal, sometimes it takes things out of context. So come out with it with a few different angles, try changing up the prompts, the text. Eventually, you'll get there. I like this top right one. Clip looks like a shark here. So what I can do is I can go ahead and save this image, copy the same prompt, go back up here to add images, upload a file, go to my downloads, take this image, a clip that we just got, upload it back into Midjourney, Once it's uploaded, it'll be here in Midjourney. Take this out. For style references, we can throw this in here. For his likeness, we can throw this in here because I do like the style in this image. Clip looks like a shark, and we want the resemblance to look like him. So let's bump this up to about 500 right here. Now we can enter this exact same prompt back in, and Midjourney will essentially realize that we now have a style reference and an omni reference. So keeping the same consistency across the character and the same style. I really like this clip right here. I'm gonna go ahead and download them. So now that we have this image of clip, we're ready to go into the video aspect. Now this is where things get fun, but it can also get a little crazy and things can start to misbehave a little bit. Some of the main video generation tools I like to use is Google Veo, Hailuo Minimax, and Runway. Each model is trained a little differently and it'll affect the outcome of the video generation. For this one, let's start with Google Veo. We are now in Google Veo. Down here is your prompting bar. You can change it from frames to video, text to video, depending on what you're trying to generate. Since we have clip, let's go with frames to video. Sweet, so now that that's uploading, this is our first frame. You can upload first and last frames to Google Veo. Anything between the starting and end frame can be completely up to you and optimized. But since we don't have an ending frame, let's just start with the first frame and see what Google Veo comes up with. This brings us to my clean prompting philosophy. The model can't read your mind. This is why I like to use ChatGPT to help me write some prompts. I tell ChatGPT exactly what I want. I also tell ChatGPT to use film language, things like angles, lighting, so the video models understand me better. So let's hop back into ChatGPT and make this a clean prompt using film language. We threw that in ChatGPT. Let's see what it comes out with. This is just to kind of clean it up, make it a little bit more digestible for all of your thoughts in your head of what you're trying to do. And of course, you can always add and take away with these prompts. Let's go ahead and copy this, go back into Google Veo. And up here, always make sure you can also change the portrait, landscape, number of outputs per selection. I always like to stick with 2. Always make sure you're either on Veo 3.1 quality or Veo 3.1 fast. Sometimes it takes a little while for some of the image generation, so you just have to be patient. While we're doing that, let's upload the same image to Hailuo and Runway and see what different results we can get. So we're here in Hailuo. So we already have our image. Let's go to create video. That's what I always just like to stick on Hailuo 2.0. Paste the same prompt that we just made from ChatGPT in here. Let's see what kind of results it gives us. We can do the same for Runway as well. Let's see what Runway gives us. What we just ran into was a little bit of copyright issue. Instead of saying Disney 3D Pixar style, since we have the uploaded reference clip, I'm pretty sure it's gonna know what to do. We'll just say 3D style. Let's remove Disney Pixar. There's tons of different things you can do in here. That's what you can do: product shot images, you can upscale images, animate frames. You can even chat with a bot and help work through ideas. You can do different workflows. There's tons of stuff that you can personalize it and make it yours. Google Veo is done, and let's see the result. That was option number 1. This is option number 2. Both pretty good results. Now let's check back in on some of our other LLMs and see what they're up to. Hailuo gave us a result. Let's check it out and see what it did. Hailuo added this little bit of an orbit around clip. I kind of like it, but as you can see, his eye at the end kind of goes a little crazy. So that is some of the things about video generation, is you might have to run it once or twice to get the exact result that you're looking for. So you can see this for Runway, this clip just kind of staring into space, not really knowing what to do. I personally like Google Veo for this one. Try all of them, see what you guys can come up with, be creative. Let's hop over to how to use AI video generation with just a text prompt. For the sake of this video, I'll be using the same prompt just to show you guys what the output will be. We're going to start a new session in Runway, copy and paste it. With the most recent updated version of Runway, Gen 4.5, we can do text to prompt. Let's see what Runway comes up with just our clean prompt from ChatGPT. Go ahead and do the same as well for Hailuo. Another thing I'd like to add and kind of backtrack to is, as you can see, when we were trying to make clip and we were kind of getting that fuzzy mascot look, this brings up negative prompting. Negative prompting is just as important. You're not just telling the model what to do, you're also telling the model what not to do. For example, we can be like, don't make it sunny, don't make clip sit. Sometimes AI likes to add a little bit of weirdness in there. So if you keep getting some weird results, try a negative prompt, and whatever you're seeing on the screen, say no to that. Let's see what it did. Overall, not bad. Still gave us that 3D Pixar look. Clip is looking a little more human than Shark, and he's looking pretty big. Sometimes the export can be a little unexpected since it's just going off text and words. Same thing. Not bad, but definitely wasn't to my liking. I definitely like our first generation better with an image. Let's check in and see how Runway did. We also ran into the 3D Disney Pixar copyright issue again. So this is where negative prompting can come into a play. Simply just remove Disney Pixar. Sweet, so Runway just gave us this generation. Let's check it out. And they made him super buff and kind of look like an action figure, but like I said, that is some of the magic of text prompting since we didn't upload an image. It kind of gave it free creative reign to do as it pleased. But there is a lot of way to make AI videos. This is just my workflow, and I encourage you guys to play around with it, dive into all of the different LLMs and different video generations, see which tools you like, see which tools you don't like. The world's pretty much your oyster on this one, and it's an unlimited creative brush and a blank slate. If you guys have questions or just want to chat about AI and kind of do another walkthrough, just hit me up on Slack and happy to jump on a call with you guys. That's it.